This is Strengths Based Radio, promoting recovery and well-being through podcasts about mental health. Welcome to Strengths Based Radio. I'm Josh Kurz-Burchard. I'm here today with Peter Taylor to hear him read from his book, Smell the Coffee and Wake Up, a Zen Guide to Mindfulness and Self-Discovery. Peter is going to read from his essay titled Feeling Separate. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Josh. Feeling separate. Ignorance in Buddhism is the feeling that we are separate from everything else. That feeling of separation causes us problems because it makes us so big. When we think of ourselves as a piece of the universe, we are tiny. When we are tiny, our problems are tiny. The whole universe supports us, like our body supports an eyelash. When we separate ourselves from the universe, suddenly we are all there is. We are on our own. Our problems, whatever they are, become huge. In these fragile, separate bodies, we take just one misstep. We may cease to exist. Terrifying. If we identify ourselves with the universe, it doesn't bother us in the least that our body is expanding. That's what the universe does. To imagine yourself as the universe, think about how the universe sustains us. We can tell the universe is sustaining us because we are here. There is a complex social system inserted between us and our sustenance, but the sun grows the food that grows us. We are connected. We grow in our mother's tummy. We are connected. We love. We are connected. It's too bad we feel so separate.
That's a great essay, and I am guilty, definitely, of imagining things as separate and imagining people as separate and sort of failing to see the connection between us and everything in the universe. And when I say that, can you talk about a connection between us and everything, as opposed to just sort of maybe just our loved ones or just, the people we like or, the products we like?
Yeah, I think when the sense of separateness is really, it's a sense of self. So you have this big sense of yourself, and when you start to have problems, yourself is all you're thinking about. So to think about the universe, you don't have to get that much bigger. You think about your house, or you think about the sky and the stars. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you expand your awareness from yourself, beginning with yourself, and expand it out and out and out. And then you move your consciousness and your mind. You're not just all on yourself, and you get some perspective. So that's really the connection that there is. Like we are ourselves, but we're also part of all of this. So the imagining that you're all of this, like it's unimaginable how big everything is. And it's both logical and natural to recognize that you're part of all of that, right? But the place you recognize is it from yourself. So, but the sense that we feel separate from all of that when we're thinking about ourselves, that causes us pain and suffering. So it's helpful to just get out of yourself when you're feeling bad and you're feeling tough things, and thinking about being connected to everything and getting out of yourself and getting into your bigger self, your huge self. It's helpful.
What do you think it is that drives people to think of themselves as separate?
It's our habit. It's just a habit. It's the way we naturally see things. I mean, everything we see is from our eyes. Everything we hear is from our ears. everybody, when our little babies, our mommy says, "Ooh, Joshy," and you think, "Oh, I'm Josh," and then so we always have this sense of self, and we have this sense of experiences unfolding to us. So it's just part of what we are. We think of ourselves as a self. So but in Buddhism, that's ignorance, because when you expand your awareness and you think that you're a little bit more than just yourself and see. And then all the connectedness to everything is kind of a logical reconstruction to just show that you actually are connected to everything, and it's not just some vague idea that, oh yeah, the universe.
So it's very practical.
Yeah, it's just, you can't get away from it if you think about it. If you think of being connected, of course you're connected. You breathe, taking in oxygen, breathing out, you're interacting with the environment. So
I remember a math problem we did in high school where we calculated the probability. This sounds very technical, but it's relevant, I think, where you calculate the probability that an atom in your one breath was also shared by Caesar on his dying breath. And it's like 99% because... And it sounds like not true, but it was completely true, according to our math teacher. Just a little piece of hard evidence that we're all connected.
Yeah, that's a high probability.
Right.
So we're all breathing out.
So then it follows that we're all breathing each other's breath all the time. So, share our breath.
We're exchanging atoms with each other on an elemental level.
Right.
We're literally each other all the time. Yeah. So then feeling separate.
Feeling separate is
just an illusion.
And I can see how it's feeling separate is harmful because then if I'm feeling separate, I lack the perspective that my problems are actually in terms of the grand picture scheme. And if I'm more interested and curious about the world around me and what it is and how it might be connected, then the problems that I might be having just seem much smaller. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything that gets you out of thinking about yourself and changing the way you think about yourself. Because most of the time when you're really feeling bad, there's some core element of that bad feeling that is about yourself.
Right.
So in that sense of self, whether it's continuous with the universe or, a series of moments or whatever that sense of self is not exactly what we think of it as. And so dwelling on yourself can be painful. So when you get out of yourself, you get immediate relief, and you don't have to imagine that you're the universe or that you're something, that we're all the same atoms and anything like that. That might not help, if you're worried about how you're going to pay your bills or things like that. Those kind of worries that how am I going to sustain this self that I imagine, that everybody else imagines that they have a self. We do have a self on one level, but on another level, that self isn't what we think it is. And it's when we are mired in thoughts about ourselves, then we'll suffer.
Well, this is very good news for anyone who's feeling closed in by their worries about themselves. And thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you for listening to Strengths-Based Radio. Join us on our website at strengthsbasedradio.org.